like an old man leaning forward in his chair. I made my first million before I turned 30. I'm 89 years old now, and I'm going to tell you something that nobody, not one single person, told me when I was your age. 5 things. 5 things that would have saved me years of pain, confusion, and wasted effort. You ready? Because I don't like to waste time. Mine or yours? So, let me tell you what happened last week. I was sitting in my usual corner at this café I love. I've been going there for years. Same chair, same coffee, same view of the street. When I'm there, I like to just watch people. And that's when I noticed this young man. His name is Jake. Jake is ambitious. You can just see it on him. The way he carries himself, the way he's always looking around like the answers to life are somewhere just out of reach. He grew up without much. Single mother, no real male figure showing him the ropes. But instead of using that as an excuse, he decided to use it as fuel. Now, across the café, there was an older gentleman. Suit, expensive watch, face like he'd never smiled a day in his life. I'll call him Mr. Grumpy, because that's what he was. Jake walked over to him, politely, respectfully, and asked for some advice. Mr. Grumpy looked at him, and I'm not exaggerating here, and said that young people today are lazy, that they don't know the first thing about hard work, that they want everything handed to them on a silver platter. Jake tried to explain himself, that he's working to pay for college, that times are different now, that he has big plans. The man didn't even let him finish. Now, I'm 89 years old. I've seen a lot of things, and I have learned the hard way when to mind my own business. This was not one of those times. I got up, walked over, looked Mr. Grumpy directly in the eye, and I said, "Times have changed, and so have the challenges. Our generation worked hard, but that does not mean young people aren't working just as hard today." Jake is juggling school, a job, and planning for his future, all at once. The world is more complex now, and frankly, we should be guiding these young people, not tearing them down. Did I change his mind? Honestly? Probably not. Some people are just too set in their ways. But later, when Jake sat down for his lunch break, I sat with him for a whole hour. And I shared with him everything I'm about to share with you. So, principle number 1. For the first 10 years of your life, you're just a kid. having fun, no worries. And that's exactly how it should be. Then the next 10 years, you're sitting in a classroom, being taught mostly useless things. Now, I mean no disrespect to teachers, I really don't. But Pythagoras' theorem has not once helped me make a single pound. So, by the time you're 20 years old, you step out into the real world and honestly, you're starting from scratch. Don't be embarrassed by that. It's not your fault. Now, a lot of young people at this point hear that starting a business is the way to get rich, so they just jump in. No preparation, no skills, no foundation. And I want you to imagine something for me. Imagine trying to chop down a massive oak tree with a blunt axe. You swing and swing and swing, and that tree doesn't move an inch. That's what it's like starting a business without skills. So before you chase the money, sharpen your axe. High income skills. These are skills that can earn you $10,000 a month or more. Things like video editing, copywriting, high-ticket sales, software development. My son Curtis, brilliant kid, he taught himself videography and editing while he was still in school. When he graduated, he was earning $10,000 a month within a year. But here's the thing that matters more than the money. Those skills opened doors. He started meeting extraordinarily successful people, getting access to information that others paid thousands for. That is the real power of a high-income skill. It doesn't just make you money, it puts you in rooms you'd never otherwise enter. So, think about which doors you want to open. Pick one skill, maybe two, and then don't rush. This is a marathon, not a sprint. The millions will follow. Trust the process. Principle number 2, and this one is where most people completely fall apart. I want you to imagine your money as a pile of freshly baked cookies. The more you handle them, poke at them, move them around, the more they crumble. You end up with nothing but a mess of crumbs. Stop messing with your money. You know how Warren Buffett made 99% of his entire net worth, $137 billion, after his 50th birthday? Compound interest. That's it. That's the whole secret. Time plus invested money equals fortune. But it only works if you leave it alone. So here's what I did when I was young, and I'm telling you, this changed everything for me. I put my money into investments and I told myself that money is no longer mine. Gone. Invisible. I don't see it.
I don't touch it.
I don't think about it. And do you know what that did to me psychologically? It lit a fire inside me, because I always felt broke. And feeling broke, when you're ambitious, is the most powerful motivator in the world. Today, those investments generate me around £17,000 a week in passive income. Every week. Without me lifting a finger. I live off what the investments generate, and I never touch the original money. Ever. Now, you don't need to be wealthy to start. My son has been doing a little experiment. He set an app to auto-invest just £5 a day, the price of a coffee. After 10 months, he's already made £164 profit, with an 11% return. On coffee money. Here's a simple example for you. If you invest just $250 a month into a low-cost index fund, something like the S&P 500, and you get an average 10% annual return, in 40 years you'll have over $1.5 million. Start, just start. Even small. The amount matters far less than the habit. This is the emotional peak of the video. Principle 3. And this one is personal. When I talk to young people like Jake, I see the same pattern every single time. Big dreams, brilliant ideas. And then, nothing. Not because they're lazy, not because the idea was bad, but because they are paralyzed by fear. Now, most people think they're afraid of failure, but I want you to think harder about that. What you're actually afraid of is what other people will think of you if you fail. I know that feeling. I know it intimately. I used to be a carpenter, and my manager, he was a bully, a real one. Every single day, and for a long time, I was too afraid to quit. What would people think? What if I failed? What if this was the best I could do? One day, I decided I'd had enough. I quit. That decision, right there, was the best decision I ever made in my life. Everything that came after, the business, the wealth, the life I built, none of it would exist if I had let fear win that day. Now I'm going to tell you something I really need you to hear. When you are young, failure is almost free. You have time, you have energy, you have the ability to recover. The cost of failure at 25 is nothing, nothing, compared to the cost of regret at 65. As you get older, your ability to take risks shrinks. I don't have the same runway I had at 30, but you do. Right now. Today. So please, don't let fear make your decisions for you. Be adventurous. Take the swing. And if you miss, good. Try again. Try differently. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's the road to it. Principle number 4. And I say this as a man who is 89 years old, who is on TikTok. Yes, TikTok. Don't laugh. Here's something they never taught you in school, and ironically, it's the thing that would have made school actually useful. The idea that learning never stops. There's something called the Dunning-Kruger curve. It shows how our knowledge affects our confidence. When you first learn a little about something, you feel like an expert. Like you've figured it all out. Most people get stuck right there on what researchers call Mount Stupid. I love that name. Mount Stupid. I've met a lot of people living there permanently. The problem is, the world is moving faster than at any other point in human history. What was true about business 5 years ago may not be true today. New technologies, new markets, new opportunities, appearing and disappearing constantly. If you stop updating your brain, it's like running a computer on 30-year-old software. Sooner or later, it breaks down. In 2019, because I'd kept learning, because I'd kept my eyes open, I spotted an opportunity in cryptocurrency before most people my age had even heard of it. I invested a small portion of my portfolio. The return was, well, let's just say I'm very glad I didn't stop learning at 60. Here's my rule. Every time I meet someone new, anyone, I challenge myself to learn at least one thing from them that I didn't know before. Your Uber driver, the person next to you on the plane, the young man working in the café. Everyone knows something you don't. Stay humble enough to find out what it is. And now, Principle 5. The one that, honestly, surprised me when I saw the science behind it. There's a study published in 2024 by the National Bureau of Economic Research. And what they found was fascinating. Every 10% increase in wealthy friends was associated with a nearly 3% greater chance of investing in the stock market and a 5% increase in the likelihood of saving money regularly. In other words, the science finally caught up to what I already knew. You become who you spend time with. Now, I'm not telling you to abandon your friends. I'm not telling you to be fake. I'm not telling you to go chase wealthy people and try to impress them. What I am telling you is this. When I post videos about investing, I always get comments that say, "If it's that simple, why isn't everyone doing it?" And the answer is your circle. People are nervous about investing, about starting businesses, about taking risks. Not because the information isn't available, but because nobody around them is doing it. Nobody around them is talking about it. Nobody is normalizing it. So, find clubs, find communities, find spaces where ambitious, financially minded people spend time, and just show up. You don't need to force anything. The friendships happen naturally and slowly. Without you even realizing it, your baseline shifts. What's normal for you starts to look completely different. That's how cycles break, not through willpower alone, but through environment. Whoa. Those are the 5 things I told Jake over lunch that day. Master a high-income skill. Invest early and leave it alone. Take calculated risks while you still have time. Never stop learning. And upgrade your environment. Now, I want to say something directly to you. Whoever you are, whatever country you're watching from, whether you're in America, the UK, Africa, China, I don't care. If you've made it to this point in the video, then I already know something about you. You are hungry. You are ambitious, and you care about building something real. I am 89 years old. I won't be here forever. None of us older people will. And when we go, this world belongs to you, completely. Your ideas, your energy, your vision. You are not behind. You are not too late. You are not less than anyone who came before you. And I want you to know, there are still some of us older people who see you, who believe in you, and who will always, always speak up for you when someone tries to talk down to you. You have my word on that. If you want to learn how to start investing from zero, I have another video for that. Watch it next. And if this one meant something to you, subscribe, because I'm not done talking to you yet. Take care of yourselves, all of you.